I have locked myself in a room for the past 5 months to analyze over 1,000 coaching funnels that are absolutely crushing it right now. And over 300 of them I have analyzed in intricate detail, like you can see over here. So if you're an online coach or consultant, then this video might be very interesting for you, especially if your funnel isn't converting the way that it should be, because I'll be breaking down why your funnel is not broken, it simply lacks a soul. So let me explain. You probably have a landing page, a lead magnet, maybe even a VSL that should convert, but it doesn't, or it does so inconsistently. And every time you ask for help for someone, they tell you to do another thing, right? Tweak the ad, tweak the VSL, tweak the landing page script. Maybe even it's your CTA. But let me tell you, especially if you're under 50K per month, it's typically not that. The truth is your funnel is just a container. It's the shell, not the substance. And what's inside? Well, most of the time it's actually hollow. And I've spent the entirety of my last year inside of the systems of 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs. You know, the ones who scale effortlessly, and also the ones who burn out trying to funnel hack their way to 100K months. And every single time when the soul of the content was missing, the funnel itself failed. And this is the shift that the best in the game have already started making. They stopped obsessing over tech and started engineering trust. And I'm going to break that shift down for you in this video. And once you see it, you will never be able to look at funnels the same way again, because it will give you a truly new way of looking at things. Let's get into it. So this brief analysis will have a couple parts to it. First, I'll be showing you who is absolutely crushing it and what the old method of running a funnel actually looks like. And then I'll be breaking down why your funnel structure and the technical systems behind it don't actually matter and what you have to focus on to make your funnel work. Now, before I get into it, obviously I've analyzed thousands of funnels, and I've also worked with multiple online coaches, generated multiple 6 figures for them. And over the past year in doing that, I have come to a couple of conclusions, right? And although most of the funnels that you can imagine for yourself look like this, it's not typically what makes a difference. Even if you have a YouTube video, an opt-in page, a VSL page, an application, and the call booking, your success is not guaranteed just because you have these technical systems set up. There is something much simpler that all of the biggest names in the game have mastered. So, for example, Brez over here teaching brand scaling, which is essentially SMMA, making 400K a month. Or Sam Millsap over here, right? Teaching online coaches how to get started, 400K a month. Then Charlie Morgan, 20 million. Tony Robbins, who has generated an infinite number of millions. And the weird thing about all of these people is that their funnel is not complicated at all. They're not using some sort of weird free school community and free course and lead magnet funnel in which they are contacted thousands of times and then run through a system that is absolutely mind-boggling and you can't figure out how it's working. No, their funnel is actually very, very, very simple. So when you try to implement it for yourself, you're typically wondering why it's not working for you. So let me show you the original idea of a sales funnel and why this perception will never allow you to achieve the success that these guys are doing. So in a typical sales funnel, you have your traffic and some of that traffic is qualified. And the goal of yours is to get that qualified traffic to buy from you. The way you do this, you have a funnel, which, for example, if you have a sales funnel, you are selling people on sales calls, then you have your leads and you're trying to get them to book calls and then close them in the end. And the thing that you want to reduce the most is the qualified or soon to be qualified but not converted number of people. So typically people focus on getting the most number of leads over here while also filtering out the ones that are unqualified. But this definition of a funnel actually misses the point. There is something extremely crucial that is not on this illustration but is absolutely crucial to the success of your funnel. So let me break down why your funnel structure actually doesn't matter. So what do all of these funnels have in common? The VSL funnel, the DM funnel, the content flywheel, the code outbound funnel. All of them work because of the same reason, because of one thing. And let me tell you, it's not the amount of traffic that you have. It's also not how much you know about your field of expertise. And it's definitely not what funnel builder you use. It's not how many followers you have and what niche you are in. The reason any funnel works or fails has nothing to do with the structure itself. And this is true again for the VSL funnel, DM funnel, webinar funnel, free community funnel, and even the free course funnel. The reason any funnel will work or fail can be summarized in one of these, like a Google Doc, right? It's extremely so freaking simple. And it's your messaging. And you might be looking at me, okay, what does that even mean? It's very freaking vague, right? Okay, let's get into it. So if you've read the book Start with the Why by Simon Sinek, if you're not, then I recommend you to read it. But this book clearly outlines the reason that your funnel is failing, because it lacks the substance. So in this book, Simon Sinek presents the idea that whenever you are trying to convey anything and get anyone to do anything for you, like watch a video, right? You need to start with the why. You need to start with why is this relevant? Why should anyone care? And most of the people actually get it all wrong. Most business owners start with the what. They go from the outside in, not from the inside out. They start with here's what we do, here's how we do it, and then only end with here's why you should care. But instead, a good funnel, like the ones that I've outlined up here, like the ones that Brett Scales is running, like Charlie Morgan is running, like Iman Gadzhi is running, they start with the why. They start with why anyone should care about what they are going to say in this video. It's the exact same way that I started this video, and I started it by, I have analyzed thousands of funnels. I found out that your funnel isn't broken, it just lacks a soul, and this is why you should care. This is why it could be valuable for you. I did not start out that your messaging is broken, right? Because no one cares about their messaging until they know what sort of implications it has for them. So let's break down how the best in the game are doing it. They start with the why, the core belief or purpose. Why do you exist? Why should anyone care? Then they go into the how, the process or values that differentiate you. How do you fulfill your why, right? And then number 3 is the tangible output or product. What do you actually offer? In the book, Sinek explains most companies get it all wrong, so they go from the outside in, whereas the most inspiring leaders like Apple, MLK, the Wright brothers flip this. They start with the why, their core belief. Why is this relevant? And they explain how they bring that belief to life. And then finally, they reveal the what they offer as the result. Now, let's look at a couple of examples over here. So let's actually go to Sam Millsap's page first. I'm just going to stop presenting over here. And then we can go to Andy Elliott's page. So if you look at Sam Millsap's page over here, a lot of people seem to be provoked by the idea that someone is selling a lifestyle, that someone is selling the cars that they can drive, that someone is selling the guns that they can buy, right? Someone is selling the lifestyle of living in a house that they have chosen for themselves and it's their dream home. But the fact of the matter is that these people get it right because these people start with the why. These people start with why anyone should care about their message. Because if you want a car like this, then you will care about their message. But otherwise, like if this guy just simply talks about online coaching without giving people a why, like, you know, like why am I broke, or scrolling, or anything like that, getting these cars. If he doesn't start with the why, no one will care. So although a lot of people, interestingly enough, seem to be provoked by all of this, these people who are provoked actually get it wrong, right? Okay, let's go to Andy Elliott over here. Now, everyone knows Andy Elliott is a sales trainer, but he typically doesn't actually start with sales in itself, right? He starts with why it's relevant, why it's so important that you need to make a change in your life and you need to not only impact the people around you positively, but also step up to your own things in life, to your own responsibilities. Let's look at an incredibly powerful example over here, because in this video, he's going to say a very, very controversial statement, but he's going to start with the why. So you are going to feel the energy and you're going to feel the truth in the statement, even though if you would hear it just by itself, you might be provoked. So let's get into it.
They told me that I couldn't take my shirt off. I got a text message and an email came through. And it said, Andy, if you take your shirt off again, we're going to cancel your account. These people that I was training, I was teaching them in business that they should take better care of themselves. If they do, their results will increase. They'll have more progress. They'll be happier. It'll increase sales. When you go home at the end of the day, it's going to be better for the bedroom. Damn, there's so many good things. Like, what is negative here? Well, this company had a couple people that were fat. that didn't like it when I took my shirt off and told them to eat clean and all this shit. I was told, if you do it again, we're going to cancel your account. How many of you are for sale? Most of you in here, you're for sale. You sell out. You don't stand for anything. And today, I want to convince you to change it and stand for something. Because if you don't stand for anything, you'll never become a legend. They told me that I could.
I don't know about you, but that was freaking powerful. And the reason it was so powerful is because he started with the why. He started with why it's so important, why it's so crucial to not be swayed by these types of things in life, right? Like you have to stand for something. And if you don't have anything to stand for, you're just going to sell out. So in a nutshell, this was a short masterclass on why starting with the why is so important and why it makes your message so much more powerful and your funnel convert better. So how should you look at funnels from here on out? So what's the difference between starting with the why and this traditional funnel over here? So the new way I want you to look at funnels is they should be transformative instead of merely selective. So you should aim to transform the beliefs of the people in your funnel, and you should aim to always start with the why, because that will allow you to get people to listen more intently and give fuel to your already existing vehicle. All right, so what you have to realize is that not everyone is a 100% qualified and ready to buy. There is degrees to this stuff, right? And your messaging, the way that you're going to position yourself, the way that you are going to start with the why is aimed to get people qualified and ready to buy. So even if someone is 0% qualified and ready to buy, you still want to keep them in your funnel, and you still want to make content that is going to get them to 20% qualified and ready to buy, then get them to 80% qualified and ready to buy, and then get them to 100% qualified and ready to buy. Now, how can someone turn from not qualified to qualified? Well, if you are able to change their beliefs, they will make more money and they will, for example, become financially more qualified to buy your services. So this is a transformative perception of a funnel. And by perceiving it this way, you will not only get more conversions, but you will, in every single funnel step, you will reduce the number of people who are qualified or soon to be qualified, but not converted, who just fall out of your funnel. Now, the way I like to look at this is that your funnel is sort of the car, right? It's the outside of the car. And your messaging and your branding is your engine. And the messaging itself is made up of two things. First, market research, actually researching what type of person you are talking to. And second, your own brand messaging, which is establishing your own position in the market and makes you different from everyone else out there. And if you want to make sure that both of these are the best that they could be, here is a very simple two-step approach in which you can actually do this in 20 minutes. So let me actually show you these steps, right? So the first one is taking a Fathom recording of a sales call of yours or all of your sales calls, right? You can actually aggregate it. So what you can do, you can go to fathom.video, take a recording. I'll probably, for example, go over here. You can take a recording and then you can go to transcript, copy transcript, and then paste it into a Google Doc. Now, from there, you will take that Google Doc, you will upload it to ChatGPT, and you will take this prompt over here. You can pause the video and screenshot it, and then you can copy it. But if you want me to send it over, I have my Instagram in the description, so you can just text me there as well, and I can just send it over to you. And this ChatGPT prompt, combined with all of the sales call recordings, will allow you to come up with an in-depth market research document that is outlining the latent conditions and beliefs of your audience that you need to transform in order to get them to a place where they are not only qualified but also ready to buy. So first you would start with latent conditions that keep your target audience stuck, latent belief systems that hinder transformation, and psychological survival strategies that substitute for transformation. So for deep healing, because this particular example is for one of my clients over here who is actually a trauma healing coach. And then you have the emotional triggers, resistance patterns, emotionally resonant messaging frameworks, some of the archetypes that you're going to be facing when creating your content, some real-world examples, what sort of coach language you are going to be using, and then translating these insights into messaging. And by doing this, by using this prompt and putting in your sales call recordings, you'll be able to do this. Now, in step 2, you'll create your brand messaging in also 10 minutes. what you need in the Google document that you're going to be using for this one is your ICP. So who is your ideal client profile? By the way, who is your ideal client profile? You can work with ChatGPT. After you have input the sales calls, you can also ask ChatGPT to help you outline your ideal client profile, or look at some of my other videos, because I'm talking in more depth about the ICP in some of my other videos. So then you have your experiences and stories, your offer, your client results, and then you are going to be using this prompt over here. Again, you can just pause the video and copy it. And then from there, you can put it into ChatGPT, and there you have your brand messaging. Here you will have two parts. First, the core messaging principles that you're going to be always referring back to, because these are your core values. And then second, you'll have a chance, oh goddamn, this is messed up. But second, you'll have the chance to actually talk about your signature stories, right? Like, who are you? Where do you come from? What makes you special? If you've done this, and you are basing your content on the exact market research that has come from your sales calls, from your audience, and you have your own brand messaging, and you start with the why. You always start with the why. My friend, your funnel has an extremely high likelihood of succeeding, even if you are using a simple DM funnel, or a content flywheel, or a cold outbound funnel, or even a VSL funnel. If you want to see in more detail on how this actually fits together with all of the other parts of your business, like your sales, your offer, and your operations and stuff like that as well, then I have actually created a full video on this, which I will link in the description of this video. And in that video, I'm going over the Dream Client ecosystem, in which I show you exactly how you can fit everything together and implement this for yourself as well. All right, this was it for this video. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.